Well, good morning, guys. Once again, it is I, the chairman, bringing you a review of physical media that we've gotten and we've watched since the last time. And it's quite a large update today. We've gotten a lot of stuff in, so let's get going. Oh, and by the way, I should warn you first that there will be some singing in this video. It won't be much, and I'm not trying to win any Grammy awards, but you'll find out why as I explain. But anyway, so I just wanted to talk about one of my previous films that I had purchased through the Severin Hall, and it's the Beast Must Die. And this is an interesting film. It's a really well-made, well-plotted, well-acted film. It stars Calvin Lockhart, who is a famous Bahamian blaxploitation actor, and more recently, well, he died I think in the 90s, but his most recent work that would be known to Americans is that he was in Eddie Murphy's Coming to America, and he also played King Willie in Predator 2. And also we got the Grand Moff himself, Peter Cushing, a staple of these British horror films. Now this came from Amicus Studio, not Hammer, even though it kind of seems like a very similar subject matter, but apparently this was the last film that Amicus Studios ever made, and if they were going to go out, then obviously this film was a good one to do so. So the cast of this film, in addition to Lockhart and Cushing, is quite stellar. You have Charles Gray, who played Blofeld in Live and Let Die. Sorry, not Live and Let Die. Diamonds Are Forever. And also Michael Gambon, whom we all know from Harry Potter as playing Dumbledore. And so the plot is that Calvin Lockhart plays this, I guess he's a gangster type of guy. He's basically rich. He has this huge estate, and he's a hunter. So he's a big game hunter, and he really wants to kill a werewolf. So he knows that there's this group of people that he invites to his house for the weekend, and he suspects one of them is a werewolf. And so basically he just lets things happen. There's going to be a full moon, and he's trying to get the person or persons who is the werewolf to reveal themselves. And so as the film plays out, it's in the form of like a mystery, like there's a narrator who comes on and says, we're going to be doing a mystery now, so you have to guess who is the werewolf. And then there's this break in the middle where the narrator comes on and says, have you guessed based on the clues? I mean, it's a little hokey, but it works, I guess, for the spirit of the film. So this film also came out from Indicator in the UK, and if I recall, Studio Canal shows up in the beginning, so I think they own the rights to it. So Severin obviously got the US rights, and Indicator got the UK rights. So if you do get a chance to find this film available for sale, I would definitely get it. It's one of the better ones that has come out from Severin, so definitely worth a recommendation. Also, because I had been showing my son The Shining, and this came out when Dr. Sleep was coming out in the theaters, I finally got around to getting Dr. Sleep. And so we took a look at Dr. Sleep, only the 4K theatrical version. So there is the director's cut, that is the Blu-ray of this disc, and that is apparently 28 minutes longer. The theatrical version is 152 minutes. And so I don't know what more additional footage is on the director's cut. So maybe one day I'll just go and kind of fast forward to the parts where it's the theatrical. It's the additional scenes, and just see what's going on there. This film was pretty interesting. Obviously, it looked great for a modern film. Apparently, this was a 4K intermediate, a digital intermediate, I believe. So it's not a 2K upscale, even though there is CGI in it. I actually have to go and check on that, but I think it was. But either way, it did look really good. The story was interesting in terms of that it fleshed out the kind of mythology of the whole Shining thing. And actually, someone on Discord wrote that this seemed like the adventures of the young Charles Xavier, and in some ways they're not wrong. It definitely has a lot of like X-Men vibes in terms of their powers, um, like the way they can psychically project themselves, and they have a telepathy and all sorts of powers like that, and definitely um, seems very much in the vein of like a Charles Xavier type of film. Um, Maybe like Legion is similar to that, even though I didn't watch it, Legion, but it does have vibes of like being similar to what Legion may have been about. So yeah, I got this for $15 on Amazon. It dropped in price, so this is definitely worth a buy if you're looking for it. And keeping in the kind of Stanley Kubrick vein, finally got in Clockwork Orange, like a lot of people have been getting. Stanley Kubrick's great film that finally got released on 4K. And so this is just the regular standard Blu-ray version. Sorry, the regular standard 4K version, and inside you have the download code. And one nice thing is that both the Blu-ray and the 4K are in the same orange color disc. Now this film is in a 1:6:1 ratio, aspect ratio. I guess you could say it's 1:6:1. It's not 1:85:1 like Kubrick's other films are. And in terms of how it looked, Jeff at Films at Home's review kind of pointed out that it definitely looks not as crisp, not as pristine as The Shining. I think most people would say that The Shining ranks among the top 3 or 5 best looking 4Ks ever of transfers from film, and I just have to agree. And A Clockwork Orange is not as good looking. Part of it could be due to just lower bit rates, or just that it was a artistic choice on Kubrick's part to make the film intentionally look grittier, grimier, to suit the subject matter, and that's what Jeff pointed out. And I have to say that idea does hold a lot of water, because yeah, it is a nasty film. I mean, it's dirty. It's basically about a guy who's psychopathically criminal in terms of being a rapist, a murderer. So I can see Kubrick making the film look the way it did to reflect the subject matter. And so therefore it's not going to look as amazing as, say, like 2001 is going to be. Obviously, I would actually say that it looks closer in quality to Full Metal Jacket, even though the films did come out 16 years apart. But Full Metal Jacket being a war film, you wanted to look a little more grimier, a little dirtier, like you're actually in the mud and the muck with the soldiers. And so in that way, I would say that Shining obviously is the best of the 4 color 4K Kubrick films that have come out. Doctor Strangelove has come out separately from the Columbia Pictures Classics set, but it kind of stands apart because it's not a Warner Brothers film. But so I would rank Shining top, 2001. Then it's a toss-up between A Clockwork Orange and Full Metal Jacket. Just in terms of like how it looks. I mean, obviously not film quality and all that. Kubrick's one of the greatest filmmakers ever, so you really can't say, oh, Shining is better than Full Metal Jacket, which is better than Clockwork Orange, which is better than 2001. This is not a evaluation of the film quality, but just how it looks audiovisually, or rather visually, 4K wise. And so I also got in brand new from Disney Movie Club, Black Widow. And so just watch this a little bit, just give it a look-see, because I'd already seen it on Disney Plus. And this also was a 4K digital intermediate as well, so we don't have the as bad of a issue of the up conversion from 2K to 4K, and I don't know whether this is kind of like a new thing that they're doing, because even though this film is not heavy on CGI, it's not light either. Obviously, it doesn't have as much CGI as films like Endgame or Infinity War, obviously, but it does have its fair share. And I only just watched through like a little bit of it just to kind of get a sense of what it looked like, and it looks fine. It looks the way that you would expect it to look on 4K. It's not, like you're not expecting it to look great. I think Disney doesn't have a lot of doesn't put in a high amount of bit rate, if if you will, with their films, but with their films on 4K. But it's not terrible. So this was $29 from Disney Movie Club, and this was when it came out. I had ordered this, and then I had also ordered Speed for the member price. So there's something weird about Disney Movie Club where I tried to order Free Guy, but then when I added a second film, it did not give me the discount. So I'm not sure why, because it worked for Black Widow, but it did not work for Free Guy. So I don't know. I'll try later. I think maybe because Free Guy is still technically on pre-order, so maybe when it goes just to regular release, then I will I'll try again, because I do want to get New Mutants, Jojo Rabbit, also from Disney Movie Club, and if I can get it for the member price, I mean, it's like like $15, $12. So yeah. And then also, what just came in yesterday was Children of the Corn, new from Arrow, on 4K, the classic Stephen King story that was adapted in 1984. I got this from deep discount for $30, which is $5 less than what's on Amazon. And so what you have is, you have the slipcase. This is 4K only, so it's only a 4K disc. And inside you have a card that advertises their streaming service, and then on the back, because a lot of times what they'll do is they'll just throw something in here, and they don't, with no context, but the assumption is that this is a film that is going to be coming out soon from them. And it's Monster A Go-Go, starring Phil Morton and June Travis. It looks like one of those old 50s, 60s kind of trashy monster movies, so I don't know if this is coming out by itself or as part of a set. I've never heard of the movie, but it's kind of like one of those film titles that you would expect to either have seen or heard of. So yeah. And then we got the booklet. Here we got 2 essays. Just a few pictures. I don't know if people even remember, but this was one of Linda Hamilton's early film appearances. And yeah, so this just came in yesterday, so I'll be giving it a watch, and I'll be letting you know what it looks like. Sorry about that. A bunch of my discs fell on the floor here, so let me pick them up. Kind of not working with a lot of space here. But anyway, so like I was saying, one of the great things about Clockwork Orange is that Malcolm McDowell's character, Alex Large, is a big fan of Ludwig van Beethoven. Or he says Ludwig van, but I call him Ludwig van Beethoven. And Ode to Joy is one of the songs, or one of the, not songs, one of the symphonies of Beethoven that he is a great admirer of. And so when they're in the Kroger Milk Bar, and the lady starts singing Freude, Goethe, schöne Funken, I obviously, that always stuck in my mind, and I always wanted to learn the full libretto of that part. So, me being kind of nutty that way, I just had to go and find that libretto, which is not that easy to find online, But you know, so the whole thing goes. Freude, Goethe, schöne Funken, Tochter aus Elysium, wir betreten Feuer trunken, himmlische dein Heiligtum, deine Zauber binden wieder, was die Mode streng getan. Alle Menschen werden Bluter, oh dein sanfte Flügel halt. And I just know that now. I learned it, looked it up, and now it's in my memory, and it's just burned into my brain like everything else. So, thanks to Stanley Kubrick, thanks to Ludwig van Beethoven for making me go and look up the libretto to Ode to Joy. Actually, I think the libretto was written by Friedrich Schiller, and obviously Beethoven didn't write the lyrics; he wrote the music. But yeah, so now that is burned in my memory, and hopefully, for as long as I live, I will always remember those lines. So, anyway, I just want to conclude the video with that, and I promise I will not be doing any more singing in any more videos. But I just wanted to share that little bit of trivia with you. And until next time, enjoy the physical media, and I will talk to you later. Bye.